Well, here we are, it's July 4th. I'm going to be trying out a new method to plant brassicas today. I sprayed this stuff maybe like a little over a week ago or so. It's a pretty good sized area, but basically what we did is, this is what it would have looked like if we wouldn't have done anything this year. Just tall weeds and grass and canary grass and junk. So I mowed it down, let it get up a little bit, sprayed it off, and you can tell it's completely dead now. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to come through here and just broadcast my brassica seeds, and I'm going to mix in some wheat and a little bit of soybeans, but I don't really expect the soybeans to do much. And you can tell there's a few little green, this is milkweed, and there's a few little green weeds coming up. So after I broadcast, then I'm going to use the drag with the tines down to rip it up a little bit. It's not really going to rip it up, mainly it's just going to work the seed into the ground a little bit, because there's like a lot of, it's like a sod mat here. It's going to be hard to get good seed to soil contact. So hopefully with the drag that'll kind of work the seeds in a little better. Then I might or might not cultipack. I got the cultipacker out here just because I was working on another food plot today. So I might do that. And then after I cultipack, I'm probably just going to spray out these last couple weeds coming in here. But yeah, that's the plan. We'll see how good this comes up. It might not come up that good. It's a couple of these areas where it's a really thick weed and sod mat here. So yeah, I don't know if that's gonna grow too good, but we'll see. So here's the plan. I'm gonna be planting honey hole, wintergreens, and this Dankin radish. So I'm going to mix the Dankin radish with these two varieties, because both these varieties don't have Dankin radish. And I want to make sure I get some Dankin radish out here, because Dankin radish, they eat on the Dankin radish before they eat on any of the purple top turnips or any of the kale or forage rape varieties. It's a great attractant for like October, November, but after that it kind of fizzles out. It doesn't really handle the cold like some of the other purple top turnips and kale varieties. I'm mixing everything with this too. This has about 90% wheat and oats and about 10% brassica. It's just a good, mix up to get some wheat and oats out here mixed with the brassicas. Well, here we are. I made it back out to this spray-in seed plot. Tell you what, it's looking really good. This method has impressed me so much. Alright, let's see here. So I believe these big, this is actually a couple soybeans right here. Soybean. And I believe these bigger brassica ones, I believe, are the Dankin radishes, because I remember last year they got off to a really quick start. And like these smaller ones is probably some of the kale and rape or turnip varieties. I'm pretty sure those big ones are the Dankin radishes. But as you can tell, man, they're just everywhere in here. The soybeans are coming up great too. Like right here's one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. I mean, you could plant this just straight soybeans and it would look great too. I just kind of threw them in for a test. And remember, this is all I did was mow it down. If we wouldn't have done anything this whole year, it would have looked like this whole plot. All I did was mow it down, and then when it grew up, maybe like a week or two after mowing, I sprayed it off, waited about 2 weeks, and then I planted. I didn't mow again. I didn't mow the dead chaff. I seeded right into this stuff, and these seeds made it right down to the soil. And basically after I seeded it, I used the drag to, pack it down and rip it up and work the seeds right into the soil really good. And it kind of ripped up this mulch layer also by working it into the soil. And basically I sprayed after that the few remaining weeds that did come up after the first spraying. And yeah, this is what I'm left with here. Just a absolutely perfect weed-free brassica, turnip and radish and soybean mixed food plot. You don't get any better than that. I cannot believe. Oh, and I got oats in here, oats and winter wheat too. I mixed in. I'll show you some of them. They didn't come up that good, but they're still coming up. I mean, right there's two. There's another one. Like I said, very weed-free. Just a few weeds that made it. So this is going to be a really nice looking food plot. I can't wait to see what this turns into. I'll update you probably one or two more times in this video, and I'm going to have my all my Brassica update videos coming out later in September. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and follow along on this journey. And this is such an easy method, guys. If you don't need any of that fancy equipment like a rototiller, tractor, or nothing. You could literally do this with a backpack sprayer and a broadcast seeder. A four-wheeler does help, and a lot of people do have four-wheelers. You could just use a four-wheeler to drive over the seeds or vegetation that you killed to work in the seed and pack it down. But again, a drag will help too to kind of work it in. But this is very minimal tools and equipment to create food plots like this. And this is probably the best method to possibly, best way to plant brassicas, is because there's no tillage, no drying out of the soil and destroying all the organic matter and nutrients. And it's just the easiest and cheapest and best for the soil. So, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do this method. It's just, there's so many YouTube videos on, how to plant food plots, and I even was misled the first 2 years. But for planting brassicas, winter wheat, clover, any small seeds that don't really need much, seed to soil contact. Well, I guess seed to soil contact is important, but any small seeds, this is the best method, just a spray and seed method. But you can even do this with soybeans too, as you can clearly see. I'm sure corn would work too, but for the soybeans and corn, it's usually best to have a little bit more of a mulch mat or mulch layer to kind of press over the seeds and cover them up with that layer, because obviously they need to be deeper than brassicas and clover. But as you can tell, there really wasn't much. Well, there was a decent amount of mulch and dead weed mat here, but look at all these soybeans. Boom, 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 boom. Pretty thick right there, but throughout the whole plot they're not that thick. But I just can't get over how good this is looking. This is going to be like 99% weed free or less, or maybe not. I don't know. It's going to be a really nice looking food plot. So I'll see you next time in about a week, I guess, or so, something like that. So see you then. All right, so here we are back at this food plot. This stuff's looking really good, as you can tell. My goodness. You can see there's a few areas in here, like right here, where it's kind of thin. This must be just because there must have been a little bit more of a mulch layer here. Maybe the way I was dragging back and forth, I was kind of dragging more of the mulch here. It's just weird how there's a few empty spots, like this whole lane here and a little bit thinner over there. But that's all right. That means these ones in here are going to get a lot more room to grow, and that will actually produce a bulb. You can see, like, there's a plant, there's a plant, there's a plant. Like I said, I got some soybeans mixed in here for the deer too, as later planted beans. These plants in these thinner areas just get more room to grow, and these ones over here are going to be a little bit more crammed in, and they won't really produce much for bulbs and radishes. They'll still have tons of green tops for the deer to eat. Like I said, I got some soybeans in here. I'm probably going to do one more update in this video and upload it. Yeah, and our corn over there is looking amazing too. I'll go over there and show you. I got some brassicas planted with the corn. Right here, some brassicas in here, kind of where the corn is a little bit thin. You can tell they're looking pretty good. I kind of broadcast the brassicas throughout this whole corn area, but there's only a few spots where they're looking good. Other areas where the corn is a little bit taller, they're starting to get, a little shaded out. They probably won't do much, but you never know. There's a lot of weeds in here too, but overall it's looking really good. Boom. Alright, so back out here for the final update of this video. It's interesting to see like the differences of the size of the plants in the plot. Like right here is kind of like an empty spot where it didn't come in as thick. And then over here where there was actual like a lawn type grass, a thicker lawn, where this was more like that stuff. This was actually like shorter grass. It's a little bit smaller on this side. You can see a defined line right there. It's kind of interesting. But like I said, if this plot is probably a little bit overseeded. A lot of these turnips and radishes probably won't make much for bulbs, but there'll be some in here that do. Some of them get more room to grow out here. Anyways, like I said, it's going to be a really good food plot. We even got the soybeans in here looking good. They're coming in strong. Some weeds in here and other stuff. So anyways, it's looking really good. Like I was saying earlier in this video, this is definitely the easiest, the most effective, cheapest, fastest, all-around best way to plant your food plots. This is no-till. Look what it looks like. I mean, there are some weeds in here, but normally when you till up the soil, there's usually a lot of weeds that come in right from the start, and you can tell some of these areas, these weeds are just starting, and a couple years of this, and there's going to be no weeds at all, hardly any, hopefully. But it's looking really good, guys. I'll go, before we end the video, I'll go show you a look at this corn. Got some brassicas growing in the corn over here too, which is pretty cool. Yeah, see, this was tilled up right here where we had this corn, and we sprayed this once already, and there's just tons of weeds in here. And you can tell we got a decent amount of brassicas in here too. Real nice purple top turnip. See, when you give plants more room to grow, look at how much nicer and healthier this plant looks, because there's not too much around him. Some other brassicas in here. This corn's looking good. Some of our other corn is way bigger than this because it was planted a lot earlier. But that stuff's already tasseling out and making ears right now. But anyways, guys, that's gonna probably wrap up the video. I just wanted to show you the results all the way out to this far, because that's what I like to do in all my videos. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this new method and this video overall. I'll probably be having a few more videos like this coming out this year yet, of the no-till brassica planting methods. And so yeah, see you next time, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and until next time, see ya.